All right, here we go. Questions on the homework. Number 10. Number 10 is the one that will cause problems. Sunglasses on. You put on top of your head if you want. All right. Number 10 is the one that will cause problems. I see mistakes on this all the time. I'm looking at Keegan's work. Let's see if Keegan got it right. Keegan said is what keeps x from being by itself is this number right here. This number right here is -3. So he said how do you get rid of -3 is to add 3 to both sides. I agree, Keegan. The people that make a mistake on this is they're used to looking in between the number and the variable and say, oh, look, it's attached by addition. Well, agreed, but the number we're trying to get rid of is not 3, but a -3. If you subtract 3 from -3, you get -6. If you add 3 to -3, you do get a 0. So on the left side, we get a x. On the right side, look, different signs. That means subtract. 13 minus 3 is 10. More negatives than positive. We have x minus 10. Keegan got it right. I hope you got it right as well, too.
I got
yes.
it right.
Seriously? Agreed, but what were you doing at the start of class? Right. Why do you wait till class? Go. Do not wait to class. Get it done before class. All right, quiet, please. Any other questions? Yes. Time out. My patience is done with this class. There's one thing, if there's a little conversation going on, there's something, somebody drops a pencil, hey, could you hand that for me? I never will stop you doing that. That's not what's going on right now. That's just talking going on. What's up?
I'll have my own in my house and I turn it in late tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions? All right, check your work. Here we go. Remember, when you solve equations, all equations, when you say the answer, needs to say variable equals number. You can also say number equals variable as well, too. All right. I don't know. I got Keegan's in front of me. Let's see how many he got right. You're going to correct me if I am wrong. All right. Number 1, p equals -6.
Yes.
Number 2, x equals -13.
Yes.
Number 3.
Yes.
Same signs. Ooh, I see his mistake. Yes, it should be x equals -3. You put +5 right here, and then you didn't put +5 right there. All right. Number 3, n equals -7. Number 4, x equals 8.
I'm Navy.
That's all right. Number 5, x equals 2.
Yes.
Number 6, m equals -8.
Yeah. No.
That's right.
Oh, I got it.
Number 7, what did you put?
8.
Right, but look, there's more negatives than positive. Look at it. There's more negatives than positive. All right. Number 7, x equals 10. Number 8, m equals -9. Number 9 is n equals 10. We just did 10, x equals -10. Number 11, n equals -4. Number 12, m equals -7. Number 13, r equals -3. Number 14, r equals -4. Number 15, b equals -3. Number 16, n equals -4. Number 17, x equals 5. Number 18, x equals -3. Number 19, x equals 1. And the last one, x equals -8. All right, you got one wrong. You stop putting equal signs somewhere around here. You just put x -3, x -8. Other than that, that was good. That's solid work.
Every other one right.
All right. I need a basket to collect. We have finally reached big boy, big girl algebra problems today. We finally get, listen please, we finally get to the problems that you cannot just look at and do it in your head. You have to follow algebra steps. All of these are going to be two-step equations today. You simply can't look at the problem and come up with the answer. You actually have to do algebra. I don't think there's people in this class, but in my other class, I still have a few students that are very reticent. They do not want to do the steps. They think it's silly because they can look at this and say, oh, I know what -3 plus what number will be -13. That's -10, right? Those students that have refused to do the steps up until now, they get to today's class and they have no idea what to do because they haven't been practicing the steps. You guys will be fine because you guys have been doing the steps. All right, it is another worksheet today for homework. Calendar, let me talk, please. Let me talk, please. Calendar, we're going to finish up the chapter next Tuesday. Then we're going to go into the test mode. We're going to take our test. We're going to come back. And we're going to take our chapter test. Therefore, we're going to need 2 days of review simply because that's just too long of a time period away from the material before I slam you with a chapter test. Homework, once again, will be a worksheet. Keegan, go in a pattern. That way you don't skip anybody. You just go like row, 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 or column, column, column,
That's
column.
what I do.
And that way you don't miss anyone.
I didn't miss yours.
Yes, you did. Thank you. All right. It turns out, Josh, that all of our hard work in solving one-step equations, now we can do it with positive and negative numbers, all of our hard work pays off because today we do 2 steps, just 2 one-step equations. That's it, right? The rest that you learn for solving equations in algebra, now and through college, the only thing the teacher does is simply show you a few tricks. You absolutely know everything there is to know about algebra for solving equations right now. Right now, you know it all of how to get it done. What you don't know are the tricks that make it a little bit easier. So what my job as a teacher and whoever else teaches you algebra is simply every single time you solve equations, they show you a new trick. Hey, this is what makes it easy. By the way, you can do it the hard way as long as you don't violate the rules. You don't like the suggestion like, no, I want to add 4 to both sides. You can, as long as you do it to both sides. Okay. My job as a teacher is simply show you, hey, this is the easiest way it gets done. Please take my advice because it ends up being a big pain in the butt if you don't take my advice. All right, here we go. Solving equations. We've done this before. I'm going to have you write down one last time for the year.
You said that last time.
No,
At the end of this.
I said at the end of the previous chapter, but this is the last time of the year you will write this down. There are 3 key ideas in algebra in red. Box 1, write them down. My belief is by the time you get to 8th grade, there is a chance that you'll be able to tell your 8th grade math teacher what the rules are or key ideas are for algebra. Key ideas, you work until the variable is by itself. Some math teachers like a more, strict interpretation of this. The actual strict interpretation is called isolating the variable. I don't know about you, but 7th and 8th graders, the word isolating the variable is just math speak that just gets complicated. How about we just say, let's get X by itself. Get the variable by itself. But yes, you may encounter a math teacher that says isolate the variable. You open up a math book, it's going to say isolate the variable. I'm not sure why we just can't say get the letter by itself. Well, I know why we can't, because we don't call it a letter, we call it a variable. But that's the idea of what we're doing. The second thing is, whenever you decide to do something, algebra is about balancing the equation, undoing things. Whenever you decide to do something, you must do it to both sides. We don't do inequalities this year, next year you will. But when you solve equations or inequalities, you got to do the same thing to both sides, including if it's the wrong thing. Hopefully it's not the wrong thing. But even if you do the wrong thing to both sides, eventually you still get the right answer. You violate rule number 2, which is generally the issue. That's what Keegan did on the 1. He added 5 on one side, he subtracted 5 on the other side. That's why he got that one wrong. You have to do the same thing to both sides. And the last thing is, well, it's about to isolate the variable, get it by itself. It's about getting rid of things. The way you get rid of things, you do inverse operations. We talked about the 4 inverses yesterday. We said that when we get to 8th grade, we learn a couple new ones. We get to 9th grade, we get a couple new ones. We get to 10th grade, we learn some more. By senior year, you learn at least, unless if that's your last math course, you learn the last ones. But there are more. Yeah. Yes, and you can put your mask on too. All right, Kira. Oh, mask, put it on. That's fine. Okay. Big fancy word, given an algebraic equation, that just means an equation that has at least one variable. Next year you will have two. Actually, this chapter, we will see one easy one that has two variables, two different ones, an x and a y, okay? When you have an algebraic equation, the solution is found by getting the variable all by itself, and on the other side is the answer, okay? All right, last time of the year, write this one down, box 2. These are the steps, the script. Josh, I'm sick and tired of telling you guys, put your mask on, leave them on.
I think you could call Riley Kira.
What?
I think you could call Riley Kira.
No, I've been calling you Kira.
My math is on.
What, did I say Riley?
You said Kira.
She knew what I was saying. I've been,
She's here.
You've been calling Riley Kira for weeks.
well, how come you guys haven't called me on it? I know it's not your fault, but it's my
How
fault.
come
But
you not
call me on it, please.
You're my teacher.
Agreed. I am not doing my job as a teacher. You had me for a whole year. You still couldn't remember my name.
What's my name? How do you spell my name?
Robert?
How do you spell Robert?
J-I-M? All right.
How do you spell Ace?
Here we go. The 4 things that you say, and you've heard me say it all the time. Ben, is you as well too. Mask, right? You've heard me say it all the time, the script, whenever someone runs into, I don't know what to do, I simply say, where's the variable, left or right side? What's attached to it? How it's attached? Do the inverse. That's all I say, and my claim is every time I do that, you get it right. I'm trying to get you to understand that that is the script that should be going on through your head when you solve algebra problems. It doesn't change between now and college. It doesn't change. This is the script. The only thing that changes is, well, it becomes more complicated. There's more steps. You repeat this process multiple times. All right, we have it all copied down. We shall now do the challenging problem. These are not that challenging, okay? So last class, we solved an equation that looked like this. Where's the variable, left or right side? What's attached to it? How's 10 attached to x? Remember, we look to the left, positive, so it's a positive 10. How do we get rid of a positive 10? From both sides. So we subtract 10 from both sides. I don't really need to do anything right here. The reason why I'm subtracting 10 is to make this thing go away. What I need to concentrate is over here, same or different signs. Does that mean add or subtract? Subtract those two numbers. 6. More negatives, more positives. So that's why the answer is -6. For those of you that still need it on your paper right now, the very top, if you need it, on the top, write the rules for addition. Nobody forgets multiplication or division. But people still, into 8th grade, need help with addition subtraction. The rule for addition subtraction, if the signs are the same, what do?
You add.
If the signs are different, what do?
Subtract.
I'm going to leave out the part, the big minus, small, more negatives, more positives. As soon as you understand that path that you're going out, hey, am I adding or subtracting, things will be okay. But some of you still need it on your paper to look at it. Yesterday I said about taking your pencil, touching the two signs. Hey, same or different signs. You force yourself to be that meticulous. My belief is you'll make fewer mistakes. Okay, remember, algebra problems, it can be written either way for the answer. -6 equals x because the variable is on the left or right side. The book will always write the x first in their answers. Either one is fine. But you don't have to write them both. All right, these are called one-step equations because literally there's only one number to get rid of, and it takes one step to get rid of it. There, one step and we're done. Okay? By the time you get to high school, you go from here to the answer. Nobody even writes this. At this stage right now, oh yes, you will write this. Okay? All right, today we don't do a one step. We do 2 steps, okay? 2 steps, 2 steps. So there will be 2 things to get rid of, Malachi. What are we getting rid of here? Which ones are those? When do we ever get rid of variable? Look at box number 2. It says get rid of the variable somewhere in there, right? Somewhere in there, one of those steps that says get rid of the variable, right? Okay, we find the variable. What's attached to our variable here?
3,
What else is attached? So how many things do you need to get rid of? 2. That's why this is called a 2-step equation. There are 2 things. Those 2 things right there we need to get rid of. Remember, what's on the other side of the equation? I didn't care, but I don't care. I don't need to get rid of 15. To get n by itself, I got to get rid of this 3 and this -6. So I said at the start of the class, what a math teacher does in an algebra class for solving equations is just simply tell you what's the smartest and the easiest thing to do. You have a choice. And it is literally your choice, and it is not a wrong answer, whichever one you pick. But there's the easy way and the hard way. Which one you want? The easy way is to get rid of the addition subtraction first. You hear what I'm saying? The easy way is to get rid of the addition subtraction first. So am I going to get rid of the 3 first or the -6? That's the easiest one to do. You could get rid of the 3 first, but it's easier to get rid of -6 first. Okay, so let's see how this works. You'll be given a 2-step equation. And no, you don't need to even remember it's a 2-step equation. You're just going to be given an algebraic equation, an equation that has at least one variable, and you'll be asked to solve it. The first thing says get the variable by itself. Well, that 3 and that -6 are keeping it from being by itself. So I need to get rid of both of them. It will take 2 steps. One's attached by multiplication, one's attached by subtraction. Get rid of your addition subtraction first. It's the easiest thing to do. Easiest thing to do. Do that before you get rid of multiplication division. Almost always next year you will see the one time. It's only one time. It only happens very infrequently. You actually might want to get rid of the division first. We'll see it next year. All right. So how's it done? We've decided to get rid of the -6 first. How do I get rid of -6?
Subtract. You add 6.
Add 6 to both sides. So to get rid of -6, we add 6 to both sides. Check it out. I already know what that turns into. What's this part turn into?
0.
Goes away, right? It turns into 0, right? Same or different signs? Go ahead.
Same.
Add the 2 numbers. What do you get?
21.
And we're adding positive, so positive 21. You see what it did?
Yes.
Okay, how many numbers I gotta get rid of now?
1.
1. What number?
3.
How's 3 attached to n? How do we get rid of multiplication? So I divide both sides by, what happens on the left side? Cancels out. Cancel really means what? Turns into 1. That big slash means what? 3 divided by 3 is 1. 1 times n is n. This slash is, I don't know, you become very comfortable with it in algebra, right? On the other side, we have to do the division. 21 divided by 3 is
7.
And you're done. Questions? All right. Way a long time ago, this was quarter 2 or 1, when we did the chapter on solving 1-step equations, I talked about this thing called a check step, and I said, forget about it. It's silly to do a check step for a 1-step equation. It's not silly to do a check step for a 2-step equation. Maybe not this one, but you can kind of see on your sheet coming up. There's some of these equations that you will not know whether you got the right answer or not. I mean, you'll look at it and you won't be able to say, yeah, I'm sure that 2 is the answer. The way that you can, and it's one of the few times you can actually check your work without a calculator, is to do this thing called a check step. We just solved this problem. We claim that the answer is 7, n equals 7. We can do a check step to see if it actually is the right answer. Not required. You hear what I'm saying? Not required. But when you have time on a test and you're really curious, did I get it right? Do a check step. You can even do it in your head. All we do is take this number and we throw it back in for n. What's 3 times 7?
21.
Minus 6. That's how you know you got the answer right. It's called a check step. It's not a requirement. And it simply means take your answer, put it back in for n, just do the math and see if it's true. If you screw it up, hey, I think the answer is 1. 3 times 1
3.
minus 6 is -3, not 15. Now that's how you know you screwed it up, right? I know my math teacher in 7th and actually I didn't do this until 8th grade. My math teacher in 8th grade said do a check step, and I sat there in my seat and I was like, what? Do extra work? That's stupid, right? And then I'd get the test back and I got a B on it. I'm like, how did I make that mistake? And then I was always the first one in class to finish, right? I could have done a check step to figure out if I got it right or wrong. Now, my recommendation for a check step is don't do a check step till you're done with the test, right? Finish the test first, and then the ones that you were a little bit unsure of, do a check step if you got time. Maybe it can save you from making some silly mistakes. All right, here we go. One more time. Riley, right? Where is the variable, left or right side? Okay. How many things we got to get rid of? What numbers do I need to get rid of? 5 and the 2. Okay. You got a choice. You can either get rid of the 5 first. It's your choice. Which one? She wants to get rid of the 2. I agree. The 2 is attached by subtraction. How do we get rid of subtraction?
Addition.
So what are we going to add to both sides? 2. I don't even need to think about this because I set this up so this goes away. It's technically not called canceling for addition subtraction. It's just called it goes away. It turns to 0. 18 plus 2. Now what? Okay, I'm weird. I like math, and I just find this whole process fun. I mean, this is like enjoyable. I mean, it's like whatever you think is enjoyable. I get joy out of doing this. It's fun. It's easy. It's not a big deal. It's something I know I can do right. Hopefully you get that enjoyment as well too when you're doing this because it's not that big of a deal. 20 divided by 5 is 4. So P is equal to 4. It's that simple. The only time that it's going to cause you slight problems is when there's negatives involved, right? The negatives are the ones that then you got to slow down and think about it. Remember, we got 2 rules: rules for multiplication, division, rules for addition, subtraction. Multiplication, division, negative times a negative.
Negative. No, it's positive.
Maybe you need this written on your paper. Negative times a negative is a
Positive.
positive times a negative is a.
Negative.
All right, that rule's over there. Addition, subtraction, same signs,
Add.
different signs.
Subtract.
That's what you got to keep in your mind. 7th grade is when you kind of struggle with this. 8th and 9th grade is when you master it. Okay. All right, let's do one together. Here we go. Box 3, box 3, box 3, box 3. Malachi, put your mask on. Ben, where's the variable, left or right?
Left.
What numbers do we need to get rid of?
4
4 and
and 6.
6. Which one you want to do first?
6.
Okay. So what are you going to do?
Subtract 6 from both sides.
6 is attached to x by addition. We're going to subtract 6 from both sides. Okay. This is cool. It just goes way over here.
28.
Okay. 34 minus 6 is 28. How do we get rid of the 4?
Division.
Okay. Divide both sides by
4.
4's cancel. 28 divided by 4. Okay.
I see what you did.
All right. How many people are still wondering what did he mean by getting rid of addition? Subtraction is the easiest method. You want to see it? I said you could do it the other way. Here's my one explanation of why this is the smartest way to do it. If we don't get rid of the 6 first, what do we got to get rid of first? Well, let's get rid of the 4. How is 4 attached to everything? So what do we got to do to everything? You ready? Everything. Got to be divided by 4. Okay. What happens to the 4's right here? Okay, that's easy. It's x, but a fraction. We can reduce it. That would reduce to
4.
reduce it. Reduce this
3
fraction.
halves.
You just divided both sides by 2. Can we reduce that?
Yes.
Reduce it.
17 over 2.
What's attached to x?
3 halves.
How's it attached?
Addition.
How do we get rid of addition?
Subtract.
What are we going to subtract from both sides?
3 halves. Oh, it's not
Oh, wait. Well,
You can stop.
3 halves minus 3 halves.
That's
cancels
zero.
out.
17 over 2 minus 3 over 2.
4
over two.
So x equals 14 over 2, which is,
Seven.
we got the same answer.
I mean, that's not
Okay.
There's more work just to get to it.
I'm not saying it's more work, but it certainly involved
More thinking.
fractions and reducing and more chances of screwing it up. Instead of getting rid of multiplication or division first, instead you get rid of addition. You notice it wasn't that ugly, right? In fact, things worked out nice and pretty. You can get rid of multiplication division first. It's just not recommended. Yeah,
Or these all positive.
we'll have some negatives eventually.
No, yeah, no. You can do an easier step since it's plus. You can subtract it from the equal from let's say the 34.
Yeah.
And that'll be what 4 times x is.
That is true, right? I mean, that what he's saying is that once you get rid of that, what times x is 28, or what times 4 is 28? That's 7. Agreed, right? You know, I can make this a whole lot harder by saying 4.7. Okay, now what's the answer? So that's why you have to be able to know. Okay, I divide both sides by 4.7. Yeah, 8th grade, we'll do that. Say again? No. All right. Here we go. Box number 4. Once again, very quickly. Elijah, talk us through. Go.
So you're gonna subtract. Oh, you're gonna add 5 to 5 and 10.
I'm going to do it the smart way. I don't want to divide 5 and 10 by 3. I'm going to add 5 to both sides. That's the smart way.
So then 5 cancels out.
We don't say cancel. We just say goes away. Turns to 0.
You add 5 to 10, which is 15.
All right.
So it's 3x equals 15. Then you divide 3 from 3 and 15.
You divide both sides by
3.
Okay.
And then that goes away. So
3's cancel.
x equals 5.
Okay. There you go. That's simple. All right. One more time. Oh, we finally got a negative. Jasmine, what do we do first? Subtract 2 from both sides. I agree. Let's subtract 2 from both sides. Everybody with me? 14 minus 2, Jasmine, is 12. All right. What number do I need to get rid of? This is where some kids will make a mistake. What number do I need to get rid of? How is negative 3 attached to x? Jasmine didn't make a mistake. You know what the mistake is kids will make? They'll see this minus and they will think it's attached to x by subtraction. This doesn't mean x minus 3. It's negative 3 times x. Easy mistake to make when you're first doing algebra. This is not attached through subtraction. It's attached by multiplication. Lily, you got that? Okay. It's attached by. How is this number attached to x? Is it attached by addition, subtraction, multiplication, division? Okay, you got it. We get rid of multiplication by division. The second biggest mistake. Kids will say it's attached by multiplication. I need to divide. Guess what they forget to put?
Negative.
They forget to put the negative. I'm not trying to get rid of 3. I'm trying to get rid of negative 3. So they'll leave off the negative. It's called dropping a negative, literally. Nice thing on the left side is any number divided by itself is 1. It cancels. On this side, 12 divided by negative 3. What's a positive divided by a negative? Remember, I said that some of you probably want to have the rules written on your paper.
It's a negative.
Positive divided by negative is a negative, so we get negative 4. Who's lost? Yes.
Alright, this is a little confusing, but you could have yeah, back to there. You could have known, if you know that negative times a negative equals a positive, you could have multiplied 3 times negative 4.
Agreed, but I'm saying all of that is cool. And some people, when it's easy, can look at it, and what he's just basically, he's looking at it, he's like, well, I got to get to a positive number, so somehow I got to turn that negative to a positive, so I got to multiply by another negative. And he's kind of working his way through. That process all falls apart when I put that over 7 or under above 7. It all falls apart, and then you're no longer able to Figure it out.
Just for
Which is
that.
why you have to learn. By the way, this is next year, and this one isn't that much harder. It's not weird. Actually, you like decimals are the ones you want to stay away from. Fractions are actually easier than decimals in algebra, solving the equations. Okay. Do the both of those, please. Give you 20-second head start, and then I'll walk you through them. 20-second head start. You already done? Josh. Pointed to the wrong side.
Abby doesn't have
Abby, thanks. Josh, put your mask on.
Uh-oh.
me.
All right, here we go. Let's see the one on the left. I need to get rid of 5 and the negative 18. We said it's easy to get rid of addition, subtraction first. We don't want to divide everything by 5.
I do.
So we're going to add 18 to both sides. Add 18. 18 and 12 is 30. Divide both sides by 5. 30 divided by 5 is 6. 6. 35 would be 7. Second side. I'm going to get rid of the plus 6 first. So I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. 9 minus 6 is 3. I said this is the one that you'll make a mistake. 2 possible mistakes. You'll think it's attached by subtraction. It's not attached by subtraction. It's attached by multiplication. And secondly, when you decide to divide both sides by the number, instead of putting -3, you put +3. Drop it in negative. The negative 3's cancel. A positive divided by a negative is a, and that's why it's -1. Okay. Feeling confident?
No.
Okay. There are some, what we call in math, special cases. These are ones that happen very infrequently,
Oh my
and they're a
God.
little bit stranger than the normal cases. Okay. So these are, they're not that much more challenging, but they are more challenging. Okay, look at it. What 2 numbers do I need to get rid of? 2 and 13. What did I always recommend to get rid of first when you have a 2-step equation? Addition, subtraction. So what's being added or subtracted here? So let's get rid of the 13 first. Do you see it? How do you get rid of -13? Okay, so we're going to add 13 to both sides. 2 plus 13. How is 2 attached to B? How do we get rid of division? So what are we going to multiply both sides by?
2.
All right, everyone, look at this. We haven't done one of these in a while. I'm not multiplying by 2 down here. You put the 2 down here, guess what you're actually multiplying by? If I put the 2 right there, guess what you're multiplying by? Where is the 2 on this fraction, top or bottom? So if I put a 2 right here, guess what I'm multiplying by? 1/2, which I don't want to do. So where does the 2 need to go? Next to the B. Sorry. And what I'm really multiplying by is 2/1. Some students will want to write that as 2/1. Some students will just want to put the 2 next to the B. I always put it as a fraction just to make sure you understand that we're multiplying by 2, not by 1/2. Hey, whatever you do to one side, is 15 a fraction? If it was a fraction, I'd write times 2/1. Not a fraction, so all I need to do is write times 2. You understand why I wrote this one as 2/1? Because this one's a fraction. What's 2 divided by 2?
0.
Not 0.
2. 1.
What's B divided by 1? Just B. Anything divided by 1 is itself. Okay? B divided by 1 is B, so I'm left with B on the left side. On the right side?
30.
And that's why the answer is 30. You see what I did? This one is infrequently seen, okay?
But we're about to see it twice.
But you're about to see it twice because you're going to practice on it.
4 times.
All right, remember, we're claiming the answer is 30. Maybe this is the one you're unsure of. We can do a check step. We throw 30 in for B. What is 30 divided by 2?
15.
Minus 13.
2. Those are the same.
That's how we know it was the right answer. Yes.
Can I go for a tissue?
All right. Yes. Okay, check step. Use it when you have time. One more time. I can get rid of the 4 or the -10. Which one is easiest?
-10.
How do we get rid of -10?
Add 10.
All right, this is one to pay attention to. Ben and Bo. Stop messing around.
Alright, I don't know what's going on.
2 people not doing what I'm asking to do. I didn't say you were messing with Ben. I said Ben and Bo. Okay. Same or different signs. So does that mean add or subtract? So subtract those 2 numbers.
4.
More positives, more negatives.
Positive.
So we get a +4. How is the 4? Oh, which 4? This 4. How is this 4 attached to T? How do we get rid of division? If I put the 4 next to this 4, I'm really multiplying by,
1/4.
I'm multiplying by 1/4. I put the 4 in the denominator. Don't put the 4 in the denominator. Put it in the numerator. Yes, because the other one's a fraction, I'm going to write 4/1. I'm always going to write that as a fraction. Eventually, there's going to be another number here. Maybe it's a 3. Right? We'll see that. All right. Whatever you do to one side, you got to do the other side, so don't forget that. What happens to the 4s? T divided by 1 is? So we get T is equal to? Who's lost? Okay. Box 7, here we go. Box 7, here we go. Which one are we going to get rid of first? -6 or 4?
-6.
Because I said that get rid of division first is easiest. Okay. If we decide to get rid of the -6, what must we do, Gavin?
You have to times
Everything by, that's not a 6.
No, but
I would have to multiply the first thing times -6, the second thing times -6, and the last thing times -6. It can be done. This one isn't that ugly. It's just more work. I have to write 3 numbers. And then I got to multiply 3 times. It's not that you can't do that. This one actually is just slightly harder to do if you want to get rid of the -6 first. It's just that we like in algebra simplicity and ease. It is easier to get rid of the +4 first. To get rid of the +4, what do we do to both sides? Subtract 4. Same or different signs?
Same.
Add the 2 numbers.
-12.
Okay. You gonna stop at some point? You haven't yet. Same signs we're gonna add, -12. How do we get rid of the -6? Now we're gonna multiply. So now we only have to multiply 1 time instead of 3.
but that's funner.
More fun. All right, -6 is canceled. Hey, what's a negative times a negative? Positive what in this case?
72. Let's go.
Be ready for slightly ugly numbers tonight. It won't be that ugly. I mean, you won't gonna have like triple digit numbers, but you might have some larger numbers than what we're doing here in class. Last time, what are we getting rid of first? 5 versus -7. So what are we gonna do to both sides? Add 7 to both sides. 1 + 7.
8.
How do we get rid of the 5?
Times 5.
Don't put the 5 next to the 5. That's really multiplying by 1/5. You put the 5 next to the x. Now I'm going to do it like you're probably going to do. I'm not going to write a fraction. That just seems silly. Okay. Multiply both sides by 5. If you choose to write it with not as a fraction, this is how it needs to be done. Generally, I will always write it as a fraction. Cancels out. 8 times 5. X equals 40. You're done. All right. We're almost there.
Almost there. What does that mean?
We have how many boxes left out of 9? 1 more box. And we're done. Good. All right. Get box 9 done. Get box 9 done. Who needs help? Everybody got this? Lily, you got this? Can you make a mistake? Oh, yeah. The mistake won't be the procedure, what to do. It'll be an adding, subtracting mistake. It'll be a multiplying mistake. It'll be dropping a negative mistake. Yeah.
You just check if these are right.
I got one left and we're done. By the way, you can do a check step, yes?
Oh, yes. Yep, I'm right.
And that's how quickly you can do a check step.
No, it's just
When
I
it's a
already
when it's a
knew I was
10-step
right.
equation, check steps are very hard. Abby, wake up. All right, first one, I'm gonna get rid of 6 first, so I'm gonna subtract 6 from both sides. 12 minus 6 is 6. Get rid of the 3 through multiplication. Don't put the 3 next to the 3. Put the 3 next to the A. 3's cancel. 6 times 3 is 18. A equals 18. 18 divided by 3 is 6. 6 plus 6 is 12. Check step. That's how quickly you can do a check step. Second one, oh, there's a lot of negatives. Everything is negative here. Be careful. I'm going to get rid of the second 4, sorry, by adding 4 to both sides. Hey, different signs means subtract. 10 minus 4 is 6. There's more negatives than positives, so we get negative 6. Get rid of that second negative 4 by multiplying both sides, not by 4, but by negative 4. The negative 4's cancel. A negative times a negative. It's not a negative. They are absolutely positively on your paper. You need to write the rules for multiplication. Usually the people forget the addition subtraction. You have forgotten the multiplication division rules. Negative times a negative is a positive, which is why it's 24, not negative 24.
Easy.
To the last one, and I will hand out the worksheets.
Wait, really?
Can I just have an hour?
Actually, pick one, whichever one floats your boat. We'll just do one. Pick one.
Right,
Can I have a worksheet?
right.
Once we go over this,
We want the right side.
No,
you
we
get to pick
Oh.
individually.
We want both of them.
No.
Yes.
And the time it takes for some people to do one of them, you could probably do both of them, yes.
And the time it took for you guys to go over
The one on the left is the harder of the two.
easy.
The one on the right is slightly easier. I will see a lot of mistakes on both of these. A lot of mistakes on both these. Malachi, you already got answers? Okay. If Malachi has the right answers to both of these, you, what? Which one? If he has that one correct, and it's the right answer, I will allow you to do one less problem on homework. Malachi, what's the final answer? 15. If that's the right answer, you have one less problem. All right, the one on the left. Hey, I'm going to get rid of the negative 3 first. How do we get rid of negative 3?
Positive 3.
Add 3 to both sides. That's, opposite signs. That means,
Subtraction, and there's
see, I
more
told you, you got
negatives,
the
so
addition
negative
subtraction down. 11 minus 3 is 8. There's more negatives, so we get negative 8.
It's 4.
I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. Negative divided by negative, which is why x is equal to 4. Second one, this is the one that you also, what number am I trying to get rid of first?
Negative 8.
Is that an 8 or a negative 8?
That's an 8.
This is an 8. So what are we going to do to both sides?
Minus 8.
Minus 8 from both sides. Same or different signs?
Different.
So subtract 22 minus 8.
14.
14 more positives and negatives, so positive 14.
Oh.
So therefore, we're going to do what to both sides? Divide by negative 2, not 2.
So you get
A
negative.
positive beta divided by negative.
Negative.
So the answer is x equals 15.
No, it's x equals -7.
Very good, Malachi. Now you got it right. All right, so you must do the whole worksheets.
The whole thing?
All right, we got about 7, 8 minutes left. You can get many of this done.
I'm gonna get the entire thing done. Gee.
Hey, I usually don't do this on the first day of something new, which is give you the answers. I want to give you the answers, right? If the only thing that you turn in tomorrow, are you listening? Are the answers, you get 0.
Wait, really?
If the only thing you turn in tomorrow on the worksheet is x equals whatever the answer is to number 1, you get it wrong. I want to see all of your work. I'm providing you the answers so that you can check to see if Malachi had seen that it wasn't 15, it was -7, then he would look over his work and he would have identified his problem. So yes, on the back are the answers. No, if you turn this in with just the answers, you will not get credit for it. You will get a big fat 0. And Malachi. Mask on. Okay, any questions? I'm not sure. Yes. Ben. I gave enough. Josh, mask on. Today is the 7th, yes.
I knew it. No, I didn't.
Jameson, you're staring at the wall. So get your work done.
He was on the first one.
What are you gonna get rid of first?
5.
Get rid of it.
Do we add it or just
Is 5 positive or negative?
positive?
How do you get rid of positive 5? Subtract 5. Right. Remember, we look to the left to figure out the sign. So this 7 right here is negative. So you wrote it right. So divide both sides by -7. Put your mask on. Yeah.
I'm confused on 3.
What are you gonna get rid of first? The 7 or the -7?
7.
7 positive or negative? So how do you get rid of positive 7?
I know why.
Subtract 7 from both sides.
I know why I got that wrong. Because I put 5 instead of 6.
Work, Elijah, work. If you need to see a boy who does everything right in this class, it would be Nick.
Yep.
And Matt.
Yep.
What about Ace?
Every other boy in this class at some point or another, I have issues with for various reasons. But I don't believe I've ever told Matt or Nick.
What about me? Oh, shut.
Literally today, I could play the video or the video of me correcting you at least 5 times.
What about a girl?
A girl? Ooh, it might be one. It's not Abby. It's not Jaden. It's not Vea. It's Jasmine's pretty good. Felicity, I don't think I've ever said anything to other than trying to remember her name. So the hardest names to remember are the kids that are the best behaved, because I literally never have to say anything to them.
That's not
Which is why I knew. Let's see. In this class, it was Ace first, and then it was either Elijah or Malachi. Then came Bo.
But I'm okay now, right? Then Keegan, you knew Keegan.
Keegan's actually a pretty good kid. He just doesn't do his homework a lot of times. Well, although now he's like on a streak. Like now he's in like math land or something like that. Because not only has he done his homework, he's done it correctly, and he's answered all the good. He's doing a real good job now. Look at that, Keegan.
Oh, you don't deserve. I'm better.
Behavior-wise, Keegan's never done anything wrong.
Really?
Never.
Oh, he
In
slept.
my
He
class.
slept.
Besides sleeping, right?
Okay, you got me there.
Yeah.
Yes, Lily.
Okay, so I have to disagree on the name thing because me and her like talk every day. And
You saying I don't know your name, Lily?
No, you
Her name, you want to know why I screw up her name? Because she switched classes.
yeah, but she's not cute.
And I used to be
And I've screwed her name up so many times this year that,
Wait, Mr. Charlie.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
but in my defense, I also had her sister whose name was,
Carly.
and that's
Your other question.
number what? Both?
Number 3. I got 4.
Okay, what'd you get rid of first, the 7 or the -7?
The negative 7.
That's attached by multiplication. You can do that, but you got to divide everything by -7 first.
No,
Did you add that addition?
What did you get rid of first? The 7? The 7. So what did you do to both sides?
add 7.
You don't get rid of 7 by adding 7. 7 plus 7 is 14. How do you get rid of 7? You subtract 7 from both sides. Which one? Which one getting rid of first? Get rid of what's being added or subtracted first. Yeah, but 2 is attached to 3 by multiplication. So you did it right. Subtract from both sides. Negative and a negative, does that mean add or subtract? It means add. And then the answer is negative.
Ah, I'm doing good.
Actually, the first person sleeping in the class was Abby.
I have a question.
Keegan was the second.
What have
person.
you ever had to say Caden for?
Okay, what does that got to do with anything? I would think that'd be the one that you're most likely to be awake at. It's like right after lunch would be the one that I'd be worried about. You go into that food coma and you go right to sleep.
I don't eat.
She never even eats.
She doesn't eat?
She does not eat.
She does.
Yeah, she does.